buttermilk crispy chicken? Let's find out.
It's probably the best sandwich I've ever had.
It's super crispy, but it's also really juicy.
So would you guys come back? Yeah,
Definitely.
Well, here's our car. The location is on the back.
It's McDonald's?
What?
What?
Oh, get out
No way.
Wait, seriously?
Try some buttermilk crispy chicken. It's right around the corner at McDonald's.
Buttermilk.
Well, good morning. This is Brad Atwell, and along with Coach Jeff Griffith on Ask the Coach, WCOU Sports, and Coach Griffith. Tough loss on Thursday evening.
Well, it was a tough loss, and but I was proud of our effort from our kids, and they just kind of carried over what's been going on since we came back from fall break in terms of our effort and execution, and played a football team in Christian County that had a lot of athletes, and I thought our kids and athletes performed quite well, and ultimately came up on the short end, but proud of our effort.
Just watching the game last night, I thought we came out a little flat there in the first quarter, and looked like it just took us just a little while to get into the rhythm of the game, but I thought played really well in the second and third quarter.
Yeah, I thought that, I think a couple of things were at play there with our sluggish start. First of all, I think that, up front with Christian County's defensive front, they were a little quicker than we were used to, the last 2 or 3 games. And, maybe we were having to adjust to that. And I think once we adjusted to it, I thought our offense kind of got moving a little bit again. And then, of course, getting off the bus after riding for a couple hours, maybe we were in a little funk there as well. But, after the first quarter, I thought we kind of settled in and played the kind of football we had been playing.
Thought our defense played fairly well for what we had to play against. They did like to spread the field out. They like to throw the football. I think we made some adjustments in the secondary. Had a few more defensive backs in there. But they didn't only throw the football. They had a running back that was a really nice little running back that gave us some problems as well. But again, it goes back to some things that we had just talked about earlier. Missed tackles is what really, I guess, is what hurt us on our defensive side of the ball.
Well, it's hard to come in here and sit down after you've given up 42 points and say you played well defensively. And I don't think that was one of our better efforts defensively. And in terms of getting the other team off the field, I think we got one stop last night, and it was a turnover on downs on 4th down. We never made them punt. In saying that, though, I thought we went with some different looks in man coverage and went with a nickel package most of the night because they're a spread team, and they got one of the top receivers in the state. And I can't even think of the young man's name. I should know it. They called his name enough last night. Number 2.
I heard it a few times.
Kenner. Kenner, I believe is his name. Anyway. But we matched him and Nick Mabe up all night, and Nick did a really good job. And the thing that I wanted to do is, if they were I was going to try to make their quarterback be accurate, and he was most of the night because he's a big kid at 6'5" and about 220, and was really accurate. And if they caught the balls, we were going to tackle them immediately. And for the most part, our secondary guys, I thought, did a pretty good job of that last night. I was disappointed that we couldn't get any pressure on them. I thought we would do a better job of getting to their quarterback some, and I don't think we sacked him all night. So they did a good job of preparing for our blitz schemes that we were going to bring at them, and ultimately give up 42 points. But we got some good effort out of some guys.
I thought the effort was A+ last night on both sides of the football. But again, you come up short, and what is the last game of the season? In playoffs, you lose, you're done. It's just a single elimination. But one thing I noticed last night is what we've noticed the last 3 games. We never quit. The boys are still competing in the fourth quarter.
They were, and like I said, I was not surprised at all by that. I told our guys in preparing for them, I would be shocked. A bunch of people asked me about going down there, and I said I'll be shocked if we didn't go down there and play our tails off and compete. And we prepared well all week on a short week and went down there and played really hard.
Had rushing last night. Zach Sneed had 20 carries for 73 yards and a touchdown. Hughes, 8 carries, 45 yards and a touchdown. Winiger, 6 carries for 12 yards. Hay, 2 for 13. And Mabe was 2 for 4 rushing. Passing, Hughes was 9 for 12, 143 yards with a touchdown and 1 interception that came late in the game there. In receiving, Winiger was 2 catches for 6 yards. Mabe, 5 catches for 105 yards and a touchdown. Hay, 2 catches for 32 yards. And probably the play of the night is right before halftime, and when we threw the pass to Mabe, and they thought that they had him stopped in his tracks and ran the old hook and ladder play and pitched it to Ty coming by. And what would have probably been about an 8-yard gain, we turned into close to a 30-yard gain.
Well, it gave us an opportunity to get down there. Unfortunately, if that had been our clock keeper at Barron County High School, I'd have been pretty upset with him. You got to let that last 2 seconds run off the clock. That last 0.2 of a second, I should say, run off the clock right there. That's one of the advantages of being at home. But they stopped the clock with 0.2 of a second and gave us an opportunity to run one more play. Of course, and that led to a great throw and catch by Andrew to Nick there in the back of the end zone.
Yeah, I thought that same thing. I thought I would be up there on that clock, man, and say, "What are you doing?"
Yeah,
because it was 0.2 of a second left on the clock, enough time to snap the ball, and because of course Ty did run out of bounds there and stop the clock and the opportunity to score. So that was a great score there for us at the end of the half. Just last night, I know we had Jake Cross looked like to be our only injury last night. Looked like possibly a knee injury, and not real sure on that right now. But we definitely want to pray for Jake and just be thinking about him over these next few days. It's tough. It's going to be your last game, your senior year, and have unfortunate event like it happened that late in the ball game.
Yeah, and looking at it on film after I got home last night, he did get kind of collapsed on there on the goal line, and hope it's not too serious. I know he was going to he had an appointment at some point today, and I haven't heard anything at this point, but hopefully it's not too serious, and Jake will be back to being his jovial self soon.
Yeah, sure. Also on defensive side of the ball. Just recapping last night, tackle-wise, Bowen 5 tackles, Mason Perkins with 7, Zach Sneed with 3, Ellis Winiger with 2, Kyle Roach with 2, Zach New with 4, Nick Mabe coming in playing some of the first. He had played a little defense, but played more of a defensive game last night. Had 6 tackles. Jared Hurt and Ty Hay each with 1 apiece. Jordan Hill with 2, Matthew Bellamy with 4. Blakely with 1 and Hammer with 1, and Ty Hay, another one of those kids that had not been on the field on defense a lot this year and came in and was able to play last night for us and did a good job on defense as well.
Well, I thought that he and Nick both came in and they played just about every snap of defense after having not played much the entire year. With what Christian County does with their spread offense and athletes, I just decided, let's get our, fastest guys out there on the field too to try to match up with them, and those guys did a great job. When we took our other 2 corners, starting corners in Matthew Bellamy and Kyle Roach, and moved them to their inside receivers, and tried to make us a quicker defense to help. Again, I think we gave up 42 points, but we did some good things in that nickel package with their offense.
Oh, sure did, and just a great effort last night by the Barron County Trojans, and just a hard-fought last 3 or 4 games of the season just really came together and seemed like they were peaking at the right time. And Coach Grigg, we appreciate the opportunity that I've had. I mean, we're going to talk some more, but just to be able to come in each week to watch the film, to be able to come in, sit down, and just to see the progress over the last few weeks of these boys have been really good.
Well, like I said, we went through a lull there, obviously, in the middle of the season where, things could have really gone south the last after we got back from fall break. But, I credit our seniors. Those guys came in with a refreshed attitude after we took a little break, and really went to work and prepared and said this isn't the way we're going to go out, and really competed in those 4 games. And, I'm really proud of them, proud of our football team in general, and, something to build on going into next year.
Sure. We're going to take a short break, and we'll be back with you after a message from our sponsors on Ask the Coach on WCOU Sports.